You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of... I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far. While I appreciate the mental exercise we are running up against nevertheless, let me assure you, and before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job. Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there. Oh, if only that were the case, but I don't make the rules. I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far, but unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one. Like I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did. Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it. It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be. Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better. Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists or very, very evil. Are you serious? No. Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her, then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place.
Hello? Is someone there?
Is hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever.
I see. You're trying to get her to lower.
Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
You were lying when you said you were here to rescue her, but regardless of your intentions, breaking her out of those... You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a... Is someone else here? Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the... You try the door, but it's locked from... You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just take... Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that. Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy... She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by...
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive. the blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink. It can't just end like this. Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it. Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the prince. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works. We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you were the one who did us in, villain. Well, not you in the literal sense, but you did everything you could to stop us from rescuing her. Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the entire world was at stake. No lone princess. I begged her. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to take a deep breath and assume that whoever is making the decisions here has the common sense. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and she would never? She's a perfect angel that you cruelly imprisoned as part convoluted. I don't know how this premise could be any more simple. Just be quick about it. She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been... Maybe it's her beauty that threatens the world. Sure, it's her beauty. Why not? And before you ask, no, we can't just keep her down there. If you don't slay her, she's going to find a way out. It's unfortunate, I know. People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things. Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the... Oh, I didn't know. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here? Calling us special isn't going to make us friends, even if it did feel... No, believe me, the last thing I want is for you and I to be friends. But I'm a professional, and I'm not going to let my dislike for you get in the way. I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to... Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. That's right, you can't stop all of us. We're going to sweep her off her feet if it's the last thing anyone does. Are these really the sorts of people you'd like to align yourself with? You're not at the cabin yet. You still have plenty of time to reflect on.
Are we running away? What are you doing? We have to...
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even... There won't be a new dawn if the world ends. There'll just be nothing. Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't, but fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up back at the cabin again. But everything is getting fuzzy. What's going on? Where are we?
Oh, I don't like this one bit. There's not a single damsel in sight.
Hold up.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to... You make your way up the short path to the cabin. The interior of the cabin, the blade is... You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the... The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase. Her voice,
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost...
Don't let it fool you. It's...
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess.
She's so coldly beautiful.
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me. That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you?
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steal.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too. I'm positive. I'm not. But we'll keep our eyes peeled. If she has a weapon.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other? Then I'm not talking to you. I guess we are.
For the love of everything, just or drop the blade.
Yeah, I'm sure.
For goodness sake, the two of you can't just stand around like this forever. Eventually, something is going to give, and I highly recommend that you be. Charge the princess, blade in hand, but unfortunately your earlier suspicions proved correct. A blade of her own slips down her sleeve and catches you in the neck. Blood sprays from the cut, your severed carotid artery painting the princess with strokes of red. You'd better finish your task quickly before you run out of time. With the last bit of your will, you press forward, sinking the blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you collapse on the floor together, rapidly bleeding out.
Somehow, I thought this would turn out a little differently. But I wonder... Do you really think that this was enough to stop me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, you're here to slay her. If you don't, again? People don't die twice. You haven't even met the... If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it.
This whole thing's a crock of shit. She's just going to pull a knife out of...
Stabbed to death? Well, you won't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that's exactly what you told us last time. When we asked you if you were sure she didn't have a weapon on her, you said you were positive she didn't. But it turns out she did, because when we charged her, she started stabbing us to death.
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons, so there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job. You'll do just fine. Those are two very different questions, but fine. Let's say for them, you died last time, which probably only happened because we did exactly... Sounds to me like you probably had some kind of elaborate nightmare. In which case, but congratulations, you've been given it. And I believe your other question was something along the lines... What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We stabbed the princess stabbed us, and now everyone's wrong. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply... Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left?
Screw this. Who cares what happened to everyone else? She's not going to play fair, so we should do what we can to save ourselves and...
At least you know not to trust her, but you do realize that everything and everyone includes you, right? She just caught us by surprise last time. She can't do that twice, so...
That's the spirit. Just keep that stiff upper lip, and you'll...
A warning. But she will lie. She will... He couldn't be with just... The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of warped wood and broken boards, their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
Can you two stop arguing? It's stressful enough in here without all of this extra...
I care less about that and more about whether we're being lied to. If he's willing to lie about something as innocuous as a mirror, what else is he hiding from us? I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie? Very different. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed, so focus up. A lot's riding on this. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago.
Now it's gone. Yet another thing in here playing tricks on us. I hate this place.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess.
It feels a bit better to have a weapon in our hands. Let's make her hurt for what she's done to us.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source, and violently the air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below.
That's right, scraping.
That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. Her grating voice carries up the
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here for...
There is something so wrong with that voice.
Yeah, she thinks she's better than us, like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room. I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody! Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
Come on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us, but she can't hide that threatening edge to her voice. If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right? Last time, if somebody came into my house and tried to kill me and I cut his neck open and then he stabbed me in the heart and we both died looking in each other's eyes, well, surely I would remember that. But I don't remember it, so it must not have happened.
There you go again, talking up delusions about a past life experience that clearly didn't happen. Ugh, it's like the two of you are working together on this. Aren't you listening to her? She's obviously lying through her teeth. I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something's up here. We can't be the only ones that looped back to the start. Someone else has to remember, right? Yes, something is obviously up, and we can all tell that she's lying. The thing she's lying about is how dangerous she is, not dimension hopping or
A knife? What are you talking about? I don't have a knife. And why would I stab you to death? I don't know you. You haven't given me a reason to stab.
Okay, I could have sworn we didn't mention stabbing any. Sounds like she's really out for blood. Fortunately for you, she isn't armed.
Well, we don't have anything to talk through. We're strangers and this place is cramped and annoying and you should just come over here and let me out.
I have absolutely zero doubts that she is going to stab us if she certainly feels. Just because she's acting like she's going to stab you doesn't mean she has the means to actually do it. But you know who is armed? You. So stop second-guessing yourself and do your... But I'm nervous. All the more reason to jump into the deep end and deal with her right now before...
It would be so much easier to prove that I do have a sharp object. I could just show it to you, but I don't have one, so I can't.
The princess smiles as she pulls her hands from behind her back.
But look at this! Hands! Hands that don't have anything in them to stab you with!
Her smile stretches into an even wider grin as she shakes her sleeves.
And empty sleeves, too! Look at how few stabbing implements I have. It's practically zero. I've shown you all of my hiding spots. What kind of princess do you think I am? I would never hide something sharp somewhere secret. Wait. That sounds like I'm lying, but I'm actually not. My secret zones are for me, only they have nothing to do with you or my intention to not stab you to death the second you get close to me.
Her smile drops for a moment, her expression sharp.
I assure you, there's nothing hidden there.
I'm inclined to believe her on that one. She seems serious. Of course, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have something hidden somewhere.
What? No, I wouldn't stab you. I am just a sweet, innocent princess trapped here for no reason. And you are a brave knight who's supposed to walk up to, not stabbing distance to help me.
How many more times does she have to vaguely threaten you before you finally decide we're clearly still figuring out our angle? We don't have the luxury of watching. Oh, I'm sorry, do you think I'm in a position of luxury, right? You're acting like you are. My entire world. Then maybe you should behave with a little more humility. A bit of self-deprecation would go a long... No. I have my dick fine, and will continue to treat you exactly how you...
But if we killed each other, then why are we here, right now? Both of us normal and unstabbed. That doesn't sound...
I think I've said my piece at this point. I think we all have. But if you want to keep exhausting your questions, it beats getting stabbed to death.
Would I just lie? Would I just lie to your face and tell you a thing I remembered I mean, just so I could stab you for the first time.
Aha! She slipped up there. Do you hear how deranged you sound right now? Please stop dawdling. This is only going to end with violence. Postponing the inevitable is only going to make it worse.
That's so rude of you, passing judgments on strangers you've never met. Silly little bird-face thinks he's so serious coming down here but doesn't know anything. Thinks he could tell me to get rid of all the knives I don't even have while he gets to wave one around right in front of me. I bet you didn't like that, did you? I bet you didn't like being judged for no reason. Okay, I'm bored now.
She's
bored?
That's absurd. She doesn't get to be bored. Not in a way that matters. She's a prisoner. In a sudden burst of movement, the princess leaps towards you, a blade erupting from her free arm, her wrist limp and empty from the violent expulsion. Huh. So I guess she did have a knife of her own after all. How conciliatory of you. We appreciate it, really. Now what are we going to do? At least we're safe here. She's still in chains. And those chains stop her from continuing her advance, at least for a moment. She looks down at them with something between annoyance and confusion. And then she slices through her arm. Okay, maybe we aren't safe here. She doesn't even hesitate before darting towards you with a terrifying speed you can't hope to outpace. Ah, shit. Okay, she's down an arm and we still have a weapon. I guess we'll have to use it. And use it you do. But unfortunately for you, and for the entire world, you are horribly outmatched. You keep pace with her for a single brief and wordless exchange before she severs your hand and, with it, your only line of defense. She's even better at this than she was last time. Bloody cheater.
I'm going to kill you now.
And with a squelch, she does just that. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods. No, you're what? The interior of the cabin is sharp, a constricting mess of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards... Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do?
I feel dizzy.
Oh ho ho ho! I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting?
The circle's getting smaller and smaller. Running isn't an option anymore. We have to fight.
What's the point of fighting if she's just going to win every time? It hurts being sliced to pieces. We're better off just sitting.
Great, so obviously you've already been here. How many times?
This is our third?
No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realise that every time you fail, she escapes and an entire world is damned to destruction, right?
That can't be right. That's too much responsibility. I couldn't agree more. We couldn't be trusted with the fate of a single person, let alone the fate of the world.
Let's just stay focused, shall we? The only furniture of note is a bent metal table, a pristine blade.
We take it. Okay, sure, you take the blade before letting me finish telling you it's there. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
This feels right. We just have to keep us.
That's right, we've got to be able to win eventually. And what if we never do? So, are you just going to stand there, or are you going to head to the basement like you're supposed to? I'd love to get started just as much as you would, but how are we supposed to get down? You walk through the door. You do know what doors are, right? But there isn't a door, it's just that mirror again. There isn't a mirror. You really messed things up, didn't you? It's like you can't even see reality.
I can feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel. He might be right. Could be a trick.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You really must think you're looking at a mirror. Well, it doesn't exist. Let's just move it out of the way without looking. I don't want to see us. I'm sure we all look awful after dying twice. Let's just fumble for the handle and be done with it. I don't care what we look like. I care about getting to the end of this mess. You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. It creaks open. And the mirror's gone. And
it was never there.
Guess it's time for us to see her again. Just stay focused and you'll be fine. You step forward, but you don't get a chance to linger on the basement stairs. They are smooth and flat and metallic, an unintentional and unfortunately slippery ramp.
Your body tumbles onto the basement floor and the form of the princess comes into view, standing at a distance. She gives you a wry smile.
Hi, it looks like you don't have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb anymore. But don't worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun.
Fun for her, maybe. I didn't like dying all over. Thinking about dying makes us as good as dead.
Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing bad has come of it. We just need to find a way to...
Nothing bad has come of it. Yet.
Plenty bad has come of it. You've left at least one entire world.
The past isn't real. There's only here and now.
Your internal bickering is cut short by the wet sound of slicing meat. From the princess's arms erupt twin blades, glistening with her blood, the empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbow. She's loose, and she is coming for you.
You're going to make me walk over to you, aren't you?
Shit. She's coming for us and I'm out of ideas. Now, I've tolerated quite a bit from you, but this is a bridge too far. please don't try Yeah, do we have to flirt with the murderous monster? I'd rather not.
It's not like she wants us anyway.
I'm fine with it. Let's see where this goes. A rosy blush flushes in the princess's cheeks, and a wide grin cuts across her face.
You're the only person I know, so that's a first. You're sweet. I like you. You're also
Oh, be damned, this is actually going to work, isn't it?
still gonna kill you, though.
Or not.
At least she likes us.
A blush still glowing in her cheeks. The princess closes the distance between you, blades flashing. She skewers you. Ow. What worthwhile romance doesn't hurt at least a little bit? What matters is that she likes us. She's even said as much. Oh, a new one of us. I thought that only happens when we die. Did we die? You're on a... No, you're in a... Where the hell are you?
I think we're dead, and that's all we'll ever be.
Stop saying dead, all of you. We might have died a second ago, but right now we're extremely... No, this is all horribly wrong. How many times have you been here? This is 4. No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances. Okay, whatever we do gets us another... us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better than her. As long as we keep moving. We'll win her heart eventually.
Oh, great. So it's going to get even more crowded, even more deluded.
Come on, show me something new.
None of this is working. Think. Think. She skewers you. Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps. We just have to hit her harder. She skewers you.
You'll have to be trickier than that.
Then you skewer yourself.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh. That didn't do much of anything. We're tougher than I thought. Just panic. Flee. She skewers you.
No, you don't get to escape. That's not how this works.
It doesn't matter how many times this takes, we can't... Okay, let's go again. She's going to kill this body either way. So stop feeling what it feels. She skewers you.
Ooh, not bad.
See? We're getting better. Okay, yeah. That was a good one. Let's appeal to her better nature. We haven't tried that. I'm sure she'll listen to reason. She skewers you. We're getting close to something, can't you feel it? One last time. You're right. One last time, that's all we need. And then everything goes dark. and you die. Your Honor, don't lose your head. We're in a cabin and we'll take it from here. Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it? We're up here, which is different, and different is good. Oh, what if we throw it out the window? Over my dead.
That won't be very hard. We've died a lot.
Besides, what better way to die so very many times? Sure, I can think of a better way to die. They're all the same. How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die? I don't want us to accidentally the only thing we're going to manifest is finally ending up on top. There are entirely too many of you. How many times have you been here? This isn't good. How about you stick to describing things, and we'll stick to doing them? Yeah, leave it to the pros. We'll notch up that... Narrator, we heroically stride through the door and towards our destined final... Fine by me. You walk to the door and... It's more of a slide. We know. Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along. Are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs? Or this room, or... Don't care, just want to win. Fine, you make your way to the basement, where the princess awaits you.
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again? I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see it? I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it though. Just you wait.
Are you going to say what she does? Do you want me to talk now? Well, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about... Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like to hear you describe her new thing. Really? Okay then.
Here we go. Now.
The princess's skin twists, splitting into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches and tears. And then it erupts. She becomes a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of her splattering against the walls. All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades. A heart beats furiously in its cage of a chest.
Are you ready for what comes next?
Holy shit! She's gorgeous. Absolutely. Yes! Behold! Do you think we can throw her out the window? That looked painful. How is she still alive? Heart's still beating, that's all she needs. This is fake. This is all fake. That's all. She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to stab her in it?
This is all just a sick joke.
We're screwed. What just happened? It's so quiet.
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different. Like I should actually take this seriously for once. You're incredible.
Something returns to the long quiet. It has surrendered its path of annihilation and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel. I am solitary lights in an empty city. I think that you are like me. We are oceans reduced to shallow creeks. Vague recollections, empty tunnels without a mouth. I am sorry if I frightened you. You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us. Yes. Nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond. Perspectives This one is sharp and single-minded. She is cruelty, but she is also joy. She will make for an indomitable heart. Do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be. How can the world have ended if we are talking? I know only that they are. I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I... She is part of me, and part of me is her. You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another? Nothing, as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom. I have not lived everything until we. More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home. You ask of things that cannot be done. How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling, and then we will be here. If you need time, then I'll wait with you. She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the